welcome back to Out of Focus Tech. I'm Adam.
I'm Vic.
Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Tonight we got a little bit different episode than what we've been doing. We're going to take a deep dive into Bark Parental Controls and look at what it has to offer. This is something I'm looking at using personally. Young blossoming children getting electronics and access to telephone networks, trying to make sure that they're just not seeing the stuff that we don't want them to. So, kind of wanted to check this out and see if it's a viable fit for uh, for enhancing our parental controls past what's built into our Apple devices. Uh, Vic, how's your week been so far?
You know what? So far so good. Can't wait till the weekend.
Yep, weekends are always nice. It has been a pretty decent week. No major catastrophes at work, at least for me. We've had a few busy days, but nothing horrible.
Yeah, it's weird that we would do an episode like this. I was just talking to my son about this, about telling people his real name or where we live when he's playing Xbox.
Hmm.
That's the last thing we want. With all those what do they call it now? Swatting.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
that's the term. That's Yeah, I know. We had an issue with one of ours and some of her friends posting videos to social media, um, making it very obvious where they were and that they were. Um, I won't say without supervision, but also in an area, in a vulnerable area, um, and has prompted some things on our end. Uh, and it's not only about like what they put out. Sometimes it's about what they were receiving and unsolicited receiving. I can tell you now, like we're pretty controlling per se with my oldest daughter's phone, and the random text messages she gets from numbers that aren't in her contacts that are just. I mean, it's nothing been nothing horrible or anything, but like just stupid stuff that kids do, and it's obviously unsolicited because there'll be no like the first text message will just be something along the lines of a random text message. Man, so and so made me in school mad in school today. I'm gonna beat them up or whatever, and it's just like really some of the pictures that are sent. It's nothing. Uh, it's nothing bad, but it's not good stuff either. And like the more and more we try and get a hold of it, the scarier and scarier it gets for us.
yeah, I'm not as controlling as I would like. I mean, I feel like having a 13-year-old, I should be checking his phone every day.
Mhm. Yeah, we got pretty lax with our 13-year-old, and it did turn around to become a bit of an issue, and so we've had to really lock down on this, and Apple offers some built-in parental controls with your iCloud accounts and tuning and all that, but it doesn't it can't let us know things that are sent to her when text messages contain certain things, or um, if she's getting or searching for certain kinds of material. And we while we like to trust our children, they are kids. We remember what it's like to be teenagers, and by all means, some of it, like, I want them to have fun and have those experiences, but at the same time, I don't want them kidnapped or God forbid, shown a murder on YouTube or something like that. That's not the kind of fun I want them to have.
Yeah, it's different than when we were growing up. I mean, now any you know somebody that's looking to kidnap children or any rapist can just get online and pretend to be a 14-year-old boy or something.
Yeah,
Hey, you want to come out and meet me at the park?
yeah. I mean, and it's sad. It's almost like the criminals don't even have to put any legwork in sometimes, is what, I know that's probably a horrible way to look at it, but it's become so easy because they can reach, with the internet, they can reach so many potential victims and targets at one time. And it's not always about predatory type adults. Sometimes kids do stupid stuff. um I there are some things that I would rather my kids not learn about in text message form from somebody else just trying to be ugly or funny. um there are things that I definitely would not like my children exposed to, that it's a possibility when you got a wide open internet.
And that is you know something that I really like about this app is that you can set time limits on it. You can
Hmm.
go ahead and say, all right, you're not old enough to Snapchat. I'm gonna block this so you can't download it.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you think $14 is that $14 a month? You think is that too much to pay, or you
Well,
think is that a good price?
I think it's fair. We can look at the pricing in depth in a little bit. It's one of those things like I've gone back and forth with, and well, I can control a lot of what they see from home with things like ad blockers, PF Sense, Pi-hole.
Oh yeah, you
When
gotta have
they
five
get a
homes.
cellular device that's on cellular networks, like I don't have any control over that, and I need them to have that function, because one of the things that we realized as we had our recent bout of troubles and tried to, we took her phone away from one of our kids. She's 13. She's got after school things that she has to go to. She's got um extracurricular activities. She's also got things like dance and church activities and all this other stuff. Nobody has landlines anymore, so if she doesn't have a cell phone, she is completely reliant on mostly another kid somewhere, possibly being nice enough to let her borrow a phone. you know. And when we kind of realized that, it got a little scary because, like when I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones. Like it was just, like, I mean, cell phones were a thing. We didn't have them, and they weren't very popular. Everybody had a landline. You memorized your house number, your parents' work number, 2 or 3 lines to each one. You knew every grandparent's number. Like at the drop of a hat, you could dial, 10 people up in town, and somebody come pick you up. Um, and they don't even have the luxury of having a payphone anywhere anymore. So
Yeah,
it's hard because it's like, I don't want you to be able to access everything and do stupid stuff, but at the same time, I need you to be able to get a hold of me because one of the things that we found is that the teachers and coaches of her extracurricular activities has become so accustomed to all their kids having phones and stuff now that they're in middle school, high school. Like they'll change plans and only tell the students during the day, and they rely on the students to get that information to their parents. Pickup times changing, pickup locations, things like that. And it's actually been very frustrating for us as parents, over the last couple of weeks without her having that phone, because we've shown up to pick her up. When she left for school that morning, she was supposed to be done with cheer practice at 5:15, and we're picking her up at the cafeteria. But at 3:30, the cheer coach decided they're going to practice an extra 30 minutes, and now they're coming out of the gym, which is around the block. Stuff like that. So it's really prompted us to look into this. So we'll jump into Bark and quit complaining about all my life's woes. So basically, what Bark is they're a parental control service. They um, started as an app that you would install on your devices. They have since branched out, and they have. Am I on? Whoo, sorry, that probably went too fast. You can get a smartwatch, Bark phone. There's an app. You can even have the Bark Home, which Vic, you have older kids that play video games more than mine do. The
oh yeah,
Bark Home is more for centralized home. I think it would be kind of like you can add it to your plan and get almost a pay for Pi hole experience, from what I understand. We can look at that in a minute. Um, but
yeah. I
that
think I
that
need
whole
that.
home protection. Um, what I am interested in at this time is the app. Page loads here with my inpatient clicking 78 times. Well,
Now, I wonder how this works as far as Xbox. You think, is it accessible from like the Xbox store? Or just
so the
right?
Bark Home is another device. The way that I read this a minute ago, I didn't read too much into that because that was something that I wasn't not interested in myself at this time. But it's something I will look at. Uh, excuse me. I think it's a another device you put on your network that kind of acts like Pi hole, and it's looking for doing like traffic inspection and then trying to do ad blocking and low or destination blocking.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look more into this one.
Yeah. So with the app, we can track locations, block websites. Um, there's one of the things that one of the reasons that Bark was recommended actually to my wife was because that they can, if you give them permission to, they can read all the messaging and stuff on the devices. So it says here like they can scan for things that would lead to like predatory actions, suicidal ideations, violence, that kind of stuff. So help you avoid bullying both ways. Receiving and uh, being a bully. You know, Hopefully it would be able to help pick up on unsolicited predatory actions, that kind of stuff. Um, Luckily my kids aren't driving yet. I've got a few years before that happens. When it does, everybody else needs to stay off the road.
Yeah.
But but the tracking is kids' location in real time. Like Apple does a pretty good job with the Find Our iPhones. Like we share our locations. I know where the kids are at. Relatively well. But this one, they've incorporated some of like the life. What I've heard is the Life 360 features, like how fast are they driving. You can get text alerts when they come home or reach an own location that you set, that kind of stuff. And most importantly for me, I think, is blocking the apps. Like
Oh yeah,
we don't
absolutely.
need my 13-year-old don't need no Snapchat and TikTok as much as that's going to break her heart.
Nope.
Um, I'm almost 40. I don't need Snapchat and TikTok.
I don't even have TikTok.
Uh, I can't say I've never scrolled through it, but I don't have an account. Um, it does let you do screen time and stuff like that, which yeah, is built into to Apple and all that. Um,
Yeah, not
but
yeah. Talking about Apple is some of the research I done there said that if you're using Android, you can get real time notifications of things as they're happening. Um,
mhm.
where Apple devices they're limited. A lot of the operating system is locked down, so
Yep.
they monitor what they can, and then for the other portions, it downloads onto the software, and I'm not sure is it
Mhm.
on Bark servers or something.
So that's one of the things I was going to point out because we're an Apple household here. Love it or hate it, that's just the ecosystem we bought into a long time ago, and that's what we use. Um, so I'm gonna yeah, here we go. Here's the iOS stuff. So the one thing with the iOS stuff is that the um, you have to have the desktop app, and it'll go. It can be installed on Windows or Mac. Um,
So in order to know what's going on, I have to get the phone and back it up on a computer, and then have the software look through the backup.
so the way I took this was like you had to have this on the desktop to set it up to get it set up, and then um, right here, so once it's set up, Bark will scan your child's devices automatically over Wi-Fi. So I took that to mean that every
Okay.
afternoon when she comes home and gets in the house, probably from my computer, it will launch a scan from the app and then get the results.
So it's almost as good. It's just the
Yeah.
notifications be a little delayed,
Yeah, and I though
and that's okay. Like if I can see what's going on my kid's phone like once a day, I'll be
mhm.
okay with that.
And that's just it. Like it doesn't stop the location tracking system or the screen time type stuff. That's just for the way that I was. It doesn't let outside apps access the data. So I took that to mean like the text and messaging feature screening and stuff like that. Um, and to be honest, like near real time for me is good enough because
Hmm.
if I get that report in the evening that, that morning at 10 o'clock something happened, I can investigate that. Because to be honest, during the middle of the day, that's probably an alert I wouldn't read during my work day anyway. To, if I got a Bark app that said, Addison or, whoever is doing some um, nefarious activity, that's probably not something that's not going to stop my day anyway. That's just going to be something I handle when I get home. So if I don't get that report until I'm home anyway, it's not hurting anything. At least that's how I feel about it.
You know,
Others may feel differently. I kind of respect Apple for having the kind of data lock that prevents this app from just working willy nilly, because that's also, on the other side of this coin is, if it's a nefarious app, it's that much harder for a nefarious app to gain access to your data on an Apple device. So, I'm looking at this as, it's a good indication and a, good indication for the overall security per se of iOS and all that, but it is a hindrance for Bark, but I think it's one that I could live with.
now what do you think about the whole unlimited devices, unlimited users thing? Is that just for one kid? Can I put this
Um,
on all their devices? iPads, phones, and then probably have myself,
that was how I read it. Was
my
that
wife, the grandparents, or whoever else
yeah,
to be a user,
um,
or is it a family thing?
yeah. I read it as like a family plan. Like, I'm gonna pay $15, 15, $19 a month, and um, it's unlimited devices as long as I continue to link it for uh, into my account.
I mean, if I can get like all three kids in there for
Hmm.
$14 a month, that seems like a great value.
Yeah,
And then you can even pay by the year, and then it's only $100 for the whole year. That's a savings of $40.
yeah. Yeah, which is, to be honest, something I normally do. Normally, like things like this, I'll try it, like let it bill for a month or two, and then if I really like it and know it's going to stick around, I'll go in and change my subscription plan to yearly so that I get that 10% discount or whatever.
Yeah, might as well.
Um,
And I really like the fact that I can see what videos are being played on their phone.
yeah,
Are
just
they
trying to
on
find the
sites they
details.
shouldn't be? Are
Yeah,
they just, or what kind of videos are they watching on YouTube
yeah,
or Twitch or wherever they're watching videos at?
yeah. I mean, it says right here, a single subscription covers every child and device in your family, with no limits on accounts, devices, or kids. So,
Yeah,
I know in my house we got phones, tablets, computers, all that kind of stuff. Um,
yeah. For that price, man, that's a really good price.
yeah, I think so.
I think everybody should probably get this.
Yeah, and I mean for $14 a month, try it out for a month and see, um, see if it gives you what you want. And there may be parts of this app that you don't want to use. Um, I I probably won't set up tracking right away. That may wait till I got them driving around the neighborhood and stuff. But um, it's nice to to have that ability. So here's the Bark Home. Use Bark's internet parental controls to manage screen time and filter websites on all internet connected devices, and it calls out gaming consoles and TVs, which is kind of nice because with smart TVs, I think they all got the YouTube app, and if they can get on YouTube, good Lord knows what they can, what kind of content they can get to. Um, so, but this is a device. It's $6 a month. Um, might be something. Uh,
I
Might be
mean,
some. You know what? To be honest, I'd pay $6 a month just to make my kids pick something different because I get tired of listening to the same stuff all over and over and over again. It's like, you know what? Today we're not going to listen to Disney. Find something else to watch.
well, part of the software is you can go on there and block different types of content.
Yeah.
Today we're blocking Disney.
Yep. That's So I also took the time to do a little bit of research into the company. They have a pretty fantastic leadership team. Um, with you know much bigger than actually what I expected them to have. I figured they would have like a CEO, a lead developer, and a you know head CFO or something like that. But they have a full what looks like a full blown board. Um, they do some stuff with some education domain customers. They with schools and stuff like that. They are headquartered here in the U.S. One of my concerns was that it was like some offshore company that's really more concerned about data mining and that kind of stuff. Um, but they, since 2015, have been here in the U.S. They're headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, just doing some, basic research. They've never come close to doing or like having to do go into bankruptcy or anything like that. They've always been what looks like well funded. Of course, I'm not there to look at all the ledgers, but what looks well funded doesn't look like they've had any problems ever securing capital for expansion and investment. Um, they, I mean, right here they're privately held and they're venture capital backed. Was it this website kind of started showing? Um, Showed some of their investors. Uh, I mean, they had some decent BYU, an actual school. Uh, they're investing in this. The Ingal Ventures here. That's one that I've seen on quite a bit of stuff. Um, but they've made in 2020 they acquired two companies. They're successfully merged or acquired two companies, so they have history. They have some kind of business acumen, and you know it doesn't feel like it's somebody that they're just trying to make dollars off of data mining, if that makes sense.
Looks like a great company. I wonder if they're hiring.
I don't know. Let's see. I bet the bottom has a. Let's see. Do we have careers?
I
We got
mean,
schools.
they've got a need voice engineers.
Yeah, that's where I actually do not see a careers down here. Uh, anyway, that's so. This is Bark. Feel like we covered it pretty well. They got pretty um their their literature and marketing here on the website is pretty upfront, easy to digest. I think in summarization, um, I think their biggest down. I won't even say it's a downfall. I think the biggest hangup most people would have is if they're an iOS user, that you have to set it up on a computer to actually be able to use the full features. Android users won't see that, uh, won't have that hurdle to jump through. Um, you know, uh, but other than that, it's a download the app, set up your account, and um, start configuring your permission sets and what you want to watch out for, and sit back and let it work. Um, I feel like just protecting the kids. Like I don't want to come across as I'm trying to, uh, hide my kids from everything. But there's just some things I don't want them to be exposed to.
Yeah,
And I think for what this offers at that price point, I think it's a pretty good deal, and I'm going to jump on it. Maybe after I use this for a month or so, we can circle back and I'll let everybody know what I think of it and how well it works, and we'll go from there.
yeah. Same here.
Okay.
I might download this tonight.
Yep. I'm probably going to get started on it tonight or tomorrow. Um, I may even go as far as to get the Bark home here and get that get that set up. Um, like I said, not $6 a month is worth it to me to be able to make them watch something else, because you can only watch the same cartoon so many times, and you want to move out.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So um, so I think that's going to be it for this one. So doing the research in this, I sent you that article the other day. I think the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the school status data breach and see how that affects everybody, because that's very adjacent to this. For those of you that don't know, sorry, it's not school status; it is Power School. Power School is one of the big SaaS solutions that backs digital grade books for a lot of schools. I know my kids' schools use it. It's pretty prolific around this area. Judging by the articles I read, they have a huge chunk of the market. So I think that's definitely worth talking about.
Yep, can't
And
wait to cover that one.
yeah, I think we definitely need to let everybody know, because that's another one that just hasn't really been in the news. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. Vic, you got any departing wisdom for us this evening?
Yeah, your kids should know that you're not gonna put this on their phones to because you want to spy on them or whatever. You're putting this on there because it's you want to protect them. And we're curious to know what you guys think. Post your comments below. This has been another episode of Out of Focus Tech.
Absolutely. Let us know what you think. We appreciate the feedback. Hope everybody has a good evening, and we'll see you next time.